On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies we go.
For our road trip today, we're going over to the historic small town of Luling, Texas, about 65 miles east along I-10. Come join us.
Early settlement of the area began in the 1840s and was concentrated along Plum Creek. In 1874, the Galveston, Harrisburg, and San Antonio line laid track from Columbus to a terminus 3 miles west of Plum Creek. This terminus became the city of Luling, drawing much of its early population from the Plum Creek area and from the Atlanta community. Sources vary on how Luling came by its name. One said that it was named for a Chinese worker, a second, that it was named for a Judge Luling, and a third, that Luling was the maiden name of the wife of the man who built the railroad. The Luling post office opened in 1874, and the community grew rapidly. Within 10 years, Luling had 5 churches, several mills, a bank, a school, a weekly newspaper, and 1,800 residents. Its primary shipments were cotton, cottonseed oil, livestock, and pecans. In 1889, a second railroad, the San Antonio and Aransas Pass, built through Luling, connecting it with both Lockhart and Shiner. By 1890, the community had an opera house, 2 hotels, and a population of 2,000.
Edgar B. Davis discovered oil on August 9, 1922, northwest of Luling. With extensive leases, he almost completely controlled the field at first but soon sold much of his interest to major oil companies. The field's annual production peaked at 11,134,000 barrels in 1924 and leveled off at an average of 2.5 million barrels annually in the 1930s. In the 1970s and 1980s, annual production averaged between 1 and 2 million barrels. The discovery of oil prompted rapid growth in the community and attracted various support industries associated with the oil business. By the early 1930s, Luling had 5,970 residents and 175 businesses.
The community was hurt by the oil price slump in the mid-1980s, but it had developed other businesses and so was not completely dependent on oil. In spite of the dominance of oil, agriculture had remained an important part of the local economy. By the 1950s, local farmers had diversified their crops to include watermelons and tomatoes. Truck farming became such a large industry in the area that Luling residents began holding an annual watermelon thump, a festival that includes a seed spitting contest and prizes for the largest watermelon. The record for the longest spat seed dates back to 1989, when Lee Wheelis spit a seed 68 feet and 9 1/8 inches. Event organizers say the festival brings in approximately 30,000 visitors.
We do world championship seed spitting.
It's all about technique.
I'm a rocker. I tend to rock when I spit.
Growing up, you were probably told not to spit. It's not ladylike to do. Well, here in Luling, not only is it allowed, but it's encouraged. The record to beat is from 1989. I'm going to test my skills out. But it's a little harder than it looks.
Don't think about it too much. You're getting in your head.
Where'd it go?
Over there. Good spit.
28 feet 5 inches.
John and James Merriweather and Leonidas Hardiman in 1874 built a grist mill and a sawmill at this site, with a stone dam across the San Marcos River. Bob Innes, John Orchard, J.K. Walker, and Fritz Zedler, as Luling Water Power Company, bought the mills in 1884, adding a cotton gin. A milling veteran, Zedler in 1888 bought all stock and made his eldest son his business partner. The gin soon burned and was rebuilt. Additional units were added over time. Sons Herman and Charles joined the firm in 1890. Today, the Zedler Mill Museum and Park is a tranquil place to experience the good life and a beautiful merging point for past and present cultures. The combined Zedler Mill Complex and the City Park is located on 9.32 acres, which includes the main mill factory and 6 other industrial site buildings that were required for the operation of the business throughout the years. These 7 structures include the main mill factory, corn sheller building, corn crib building, mule barn, scale house, smokehouse, and office. Other points of interest in the Zedler Mill Complex include the riverbank frontage, outdoor amphitheater with a stage, canoe dock, and an event pavilion.
Charlie Pritchard began his pottery-making career in North Carolina. His interest in clay developed as a student at North Carolina State University. After naturally taking to the wheel in an elective course, he soon found himself traveling on weekends to visit the old-time potteries of the red clay country of Seagrove, North Carolina. It was in the 200-year-old pottery-making tradition of this area that Charlie found his calling. He became the first apprentice of internationally acclaimed, British-born potter Mark Hewitt of Pittsboro, North Carolina. Following this 2.5-year apprenticeship, he continued his training as a journeyman potter with the Owens family and with other well-known pottery-making families in Seagrove and in western North Carolina. A love of the Southwest eventually brought him to Texas, where he and his wife Holly established their pottery studio and gallery in the historic Luling Ice House in the spring of 2000. The West Texas topaz glaze pattern was inspired by both the Texas State gemstone, Texas blue topaz, and by the beautiful sunset colors of the West Texas desert. The vibrant hues of blues, whites, rust, charcoal, and tan set the backdrop for melted glass accents that symbolize the blue topaz. Each piece is wheel-turned and decorated by potter Charlie Pritchard of Luling Else House Pottery.
Luling Lavender Fields is a family agritourism business, owned by Richard and Erin Levitt, their son Lee, and dog, Piper. In 2017, the Levitts planted 2,000 lavender plants on 2 acres. The lavender field reached maturity in 2020 and was awash with beautiful purple blooms and 4 feet tall plants. They opened their store in 2018, and is filled with every kind of lavender product imaginable.
When we're together, it feels so right. Could I have this day?